Jimmy's roster countdown is about to get into some very interesting names, and also KJ Ford. What happened there?
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. This episode is brought to you by Gametime, and we'll talk about Gametime here in just a little bit. I want to thank you every day for being every day. Thank you, newbies, for being here today, and thanks, everybody, for making this your first listen every single day. You guys are the best. Jimmy, let's start off with KJ Ford. For those who don't know, Jimmy and I had done a show. The last show we did was actually Thursday, and we talked about doing a show Friday because for the life of everything, it appeared KJ Ford, who is a fabulous rush end out of Duncanville, which is where Keelan Russell is from. It appeared KJ Ford was going to come to Alabama. In fact, and again, correct my missteps when you get to have your rant, but it appeared that he, meaning KJ Ford, attempted to get back with Alabama, like he initiated the contact. And we all knew, okay, we probably can't afford you, meaning in this new NIL situation. And it's just not going to be something that's going to work out for the money you want and within our budget. But again, it seemed like he was willing to take a discount to be with the school he wanted to be with. Now, the first thing I thought was he's about to be a Tuscaloosa hero. Like, that's going to make everybody flip over him. And I can't believe more kids hadn't done it, in the sense that, hey, I'm playing the long game here. But then things changed very quickly Friday morning, and all the momentum shifted back to Florida. I'm guessing Florida probably upped their offer. I don't know that. I'm just guessing. And I'm not mad at them if they did. And I think if they did, perhaps this was all a ploy by KJ Ford to get more money. If it was, I'm not mad at him. This is playing the system. This is the new rules. I'm hating the game. I'm not hating the player.
Yeah, there's no reason at all to be upset with KJ Ford. As a matter of fact, I mean, I think, just reading some reactions as to how it all went down, again, as Luke laid it out really well there. I mean, even on Thursday, as we last recorded, Steve Wilkfong from On 3 had Fong bombed him to Alabama. Tim Watts and Andrew Bone had put in their RPM saying it's Alabama. Hey, when this happens, we know what's going down, right? I mean, we know what's going down. The batting average here is too good. But then, to their credit, they were on top of it when things changed quickly late Thursday afternoon and Thursday night and into Friday morning when this changed. And look, unlike the NFL, this is all private stuff. It's about numbers that we'll never know, and that's okay. In the NFL, we would actually know numbers because everything is so transparent at that level, at that league, but things aren't transparent at the college level, so we don't know numbers. So based on scoop and following on BOL and some talking to people and just some logic, I think the best way to describe what happened in the most general terms, but this is what happened, and this is why no one should be upset about anything, is KJ Ford came on his official visit to Alabama, and Alabama was his favorite. His problem wasn't how good he was. The problem is his game and what he does completely matches the skill set of Tank Jones. He's Tank Jones. I mean, this is a wolf who's a big guy who's likely to grow into a bandit down the road, but a guy you start out at wolf. He's clearly a pass rusher. Is he going to be a smaller, flashy pass rusher, or is he going to be a big LT Overton-like pass rusher at Bandit? Well, that also describes Tank Jones, and Tank Jones is a higher-ranked prospect by virtually everyone. He certainly is in the recruiting industry, and we all know that these players are costly. So basically, let's say it's fair to guess that Alabama's offer to KJ Ford is what I might call below market value, because we can't give you your market value and give Tank his and fit you all in. So below market value, and that's a shame. So when it came down to decision time, we weren't even in his final three because everyone else had offered market value for him. and Alabama's offer is below. But as it got time to him make a decision, he rethought things. And like Luke said, it's okay. Some of these kids do this. It's a little unusual, but not crazy unusual. But the kid's like, you know what? If I go to Alabama, which is my favorite, and I do well, I'm going to make money while I'm at Alabama, because what I'm agreeing to on the front end may not be what it will cost to keep me if I'm great, and I believe I'm going to be great. If I go to Alabama, that's where I want to be. And yeah, it's at a discount year one, but let's see what happens. But that's just my preference. I'll take the below market value versus the market value offer at Florida. So then when it became obvious to everyone he's choosing Alabama, because Florida, they read Steve Wiltfong too. Okay. to oversimplify it. They got On 3 subscriptions over there too. Florida knows he's going to Alabama. He's Tank Jones to Florida. So Florida's, it makes sense that Florida come back and say, okay. We gave you a market value offer before, which is very fair. We'll go above market a little bit. And then the kid has to rethink, okay, well, I was going to do the discount, but now I've got an above market offer, and so that's sort of how this apparently worked. And again, I'm putting some guesswork in there, but I think it's pretty obvious that something like this is what happened. And then the kid rethought things again. And you don't fault KJ Ford. You don't fault Florida. You don't fault Alabama. As a matter of fact, if we're all Alabama fans listening to the show, hey, bravo to Alabama for sticking with the plan, because it would have been easy to get greedy there. It would have been easy to say, hey, you know what? Let's see where we can make some cuts. Let's make a little bit higher offer and let's get into this bidding war. No, how is that going to affect not just Tank Jones' feelings, but the Tank Jones budget? The budget for other players. Alabama's not done. We know they want to tackle. That's not free. There's other spots Alabama still has to fill in this class. So bravo to Alabama for sticking with the plan, even though it looked like they were going to get, a Christmas gift there, and it didn't happen. Now, last thing I'll say is, this is why fans don't need to be mean to these players online when stuff like this happens. First of all, the kid did nothing wrong. Secondly, who's to say that this won't go exactly like the Kelby Collins thing did? Because Kelby Collins' favorite was Alabama. He took a better deal at Florida initially, tried it out for a couple of years, decided, hey, I would prefer the situation at Alabama. I'm coming back there. So that could easily happen in this situation, which is just why you wish the kid well and say, hey, appreciate the consideration, and maybe we'll see you later, and good luck in Gainesville.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think that the Alabama side comes out smelling like a rose here, because you're right. They stuck to their guns. They stuck to the plan. Had they gotten a little greedy, and let's say they probably wouldn't ever going to match whatever Florida paid. And again, This is not, please, if you're a Florida fan, listen to this thinking that we're saying you got to pay more to go to Florida than Alabama. That's not what we're saying. This is a very unique circumstance. Yeah. So if Alabama had played the game a little more and KJ said, look, I'm pulling numbers right out of the air here. So Florida is offering $500,000. If you can get up to $300,000, I'll come there. First of all, that's a great bargain for a fantastic player for Alabama. But because there's Tank Jones already there, it is a sticky wicket, number one. And let's say Alabama does it. And let's say they don't even take anything from the Tank Jones potential budget, whatever that is. But they're going to have to call somebody, and maybe several somebodies, and say, okay, we had something with you. We need to lower that a little bit. And you can try and sell it as, we're trying to build a championship. We want you to be a part of that. To be a part of that, we need as many good players as possible. And to get as many good players, everybody has to make sacrifices. Yeah, maybe that's how we sell it. Maybe
I wouldn't suggest having that conversation to some kid you want to keep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe a kid or two will buy it. Maybe.
I think it would come off the back end. If they wanted to make a market value offer to KJ Ford, it's probably meant, okay, well, we just won't get a tackle. We'll just
and then guess who's mad? All of us are mad because we know they need a tackle. They know they need a tackle.
Yeah, and then you're like, well, why'd you sign 3 bandits and no tackles? I mean, that's what some fans would be. So that's why all this is. It's a great illustration of what we've talked about on the show here since the House settlement became the law, which is this is all changed. This has all changed. All the things you used to think about recruiting are out. We flushed that. This is a brand new thing, a brand new way of thinking that is somewhat similar to the NFL and its salary cap. It's somewhat similar to that. It's a lot more similar to that than it was the old college recruiting system.
One more thing I wanted to say, and then we'll go into the next segment, but I thought Andrew Bone put up something pretty interesting on BOL. It was, okay, official Alabama commitments list and remaining options. There are a lot of remaining options according to this Andrew Bone list. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to change, but they're all the options we've talked about. And like I've kept thinking in the back of my mind, well, there'll be somebody that they already have in mind that nobody's really coming up with. But Andrew Bone's sort of the authority for Alabama recruiting to me. And his remaining options are Taden Kawa, Wilson Zaire, who we think is going to FSU at this point.
I would guess FSU there. I would guess FSU, but that's
not the only one. There are other people doing that.
That's far from certain, but that would be my guess now.
Bear Fretwell, who's committed to Georgia Tech right now, a 3-star offensive tackle.
I'm going to guess Alabama, but again, these are guesses.
Tank Jones, we guess Alabama.
Guess Alabama, but hey, that's what. Hey, if you like getting all nervous and anxious about recruiting, be nervous and anxious about that one.
Elijah Golden, we guess Notre Dame.
Probably Notre Dame.
He commits in 2 weeks. And then that's it.
For now.
That's the list. Now, the list will grow through the year probably, and somebody could flip to somebody else. Who knows? But I'm just saying,
there could be some.
That's not a huge list.
Yeah, senior season blow-ups or glow-ups or however we want to call them. I think there'll be a couple of kids that have big senior years that land on Alabama's radar. And those kids that are late in the process of becoming a thing probably aren't expensive. Probably not, So, again, it's we used to think of room as, do we have enough room to take him? Now there's room out the butt. There's room all over the place.
You could say butt.
Room. Yeah, I could say butt here. There's room. Because I didn't want to say the other word. But now room means budget. Is there room in the budget? Used to be, is there room on the roster? Now there's 105 scholarships. There's room on the roster.
Did you say budget?
No, I didn't say bud. I said
you said budget. Okay.
Budget. Oh yeah.
Sorry, that's so childish. Let me tell you what's very adult-like though, and that's going to Gametime. We've all been there, logging on early and waiting forever for concert tickets to go on sale, only to lose your spot for a show you've been dying to see. Live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress of ticket shopping like some sucker. That's where Gametime comes in. Gametime makes getting concert tickets faster and easier than ever. Prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime, and you can save up to 60% off with their killer last-minute deals. What? Yep, 60% off. Tired of the endless scrolling trying to find your best deal? Gametime's zone deals. Pick the best seats in the section for you personally. Take the guesswork out of buying concert and show tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE. That's all one word, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but they apply to everything. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE. That's all one word for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, and that's guaranteed. Just really one other quick thing, I guess, before we get into the roster countdown, because we got to play a little catch up. But I thought this was also something cool that I saw on BOL. It was which players have picked their jerseys and stuff like that. And here we go. I found it. The ones that just came in, not the ones that have already been here. So Chuck McDonald, who a lot of people love and who can bench press a small house. He's number 19. He's listed at 6'1", 194. Then there's Caleb Edwards, 6'6", 264. And I'm going to try and put a picture up here in a minute that makes it look like, he looks like Clark Kent when Superman is Clark Kent. Like with his glasses on, you think, I can take this guy. I bet you when he takes his glasses off, oh no, oh God, please, I'm sorry, whatever I said.
It's about time we had a goggles badass. We've been overdue. We haven't had a goggles badass.
Who was that one that they did the 30 on 30 on from Arkansas that I think he ended up dying, didn't he?
Oh, yeah,
Remember?
the Burlsworth.
Yeah, the offensive
Burlsworth. Oh, yeah, the walk-on. And now the best walk-on the planet Earth award is named after him.
Yeah, that's right.
Lenore Sellers at South Carolina wears goggles.
He's a goggler.
Yeah.
Jack Samarco, number 85 in your program, number 1 in your heart. Again, 6'5", 252. Brody Dalton, another tight end at 6'5", 251, number 89.
We got some size in that tight end room overnight.
London Simmons, 6'3", 303. Now, some walk-ons. I'm not going to go through all these. I will go through 2 of them because number 1, the guy that I like a lot is Peter Nataro, number 37. He is the son of a high school classmate of mine. My classmate. Her name was Melinda. That's his mama, and she's pretty as a speckled puppy and super nice. And this guy can kick. Huh?
It is a compliment, right?
That's pretty as a speckled puppy.
I don't know all your country sayings. I'm from a suburb of Mobile.
I am from a suburb of Daytonville. Okay. John Gaza. Oh boy, this is going to be tricky. John Gazanaga.
Got me.
I hope it's not pronounced some other way because I'm not.
It's all on you.
But number 13 is John Gazaniga. He's a quarterback, and guess what, Jimmy? He's 6'7", 252.
This is the cat from California. He's from California, I believe. Now that you say that, yeah, he's from California, I believe.
The fascination that this staff has with tall quarterbacks,
they do,
is dang near fetish worthy.
That's a thing. That is definitely a thing with them, which is fascinating as to why they appear to be all eggs in the basket on Trent Seaborn, whose size is I wouldn't necessarily say an issue as Trent has grown, but he's not a big quarterback by any means. But he's opposite of type of what they normally like. They apparently like Austin Mack, Jet Tamala. Keelan is tall. He's just thin for now, but boy,
but he's on the cover of Men's Health. That adds 2 inches.
And he's also been clearly putting on muscle, as anybody saw pictures of him at Jalen Milrose camp yesterday.
If you're anywhere, like if you get pulled over and the cop looks at your driver's license, and he goes, "It says here you're 6'1". You go, "Yeah, well, He goes, "You look like you're 6'3". He goes, "Well, I was on the cover of Men's Health." Oh, okay. Have a good day, sir. And he gives you your card back. I mean, can you imagine being on the cover of Men's Health?
I'm more likely to be on the cover of the New England Journal of Medicine for not for good reasons. Like, don't do this. Don't do these things, or you end up like this.
I'd be on the cover of Men's Health as long as it's the before issue. Before you look like this, wearing Bob Loblaw's T-shirts. Anyway,
is that Arrested Development? Wasn't Bob Loblaw? That was
I'm so upset at some
Scott,
of our listening
Scott
audience.
Baio was Bob
Scott
Loblaw.
Baio was Bob Loblaw, who was a lawyer, and the take on it was, of course, everything a lawyer says is just blah 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 blah. So if your name is Bob Loblaw, and he was also, his motto was Bob Loblaw, lobbing law bombs. So if you say Bob Loblaw lobbing law bombs, it just is. It's awesome. Anyway, all right, let's get into the countdown because I want to get to 1 in this segment and then 2 in the next segment. And the first one in this segment, and I had it written down. It's Wilkin Formby.
Boy, one of the more interesting kids on the roster. Look, I talk all the time ad nauseum. Some people would by now call it ad nauseous about the developmental aspect of this sport. And I think Wilkin Formby is just such a great example of, let's be honest, last year as a redshirt freshman, he won the starting job. People disregard that, but over the summer and fall camp, he won the right tackle spot over the older returning kid, Elijah Pritchett. He beat him out, played pretty well in game 1. And then we all know what happened in game 2 in South Florida. Wilkin had a really rough day. Well, guess what? Freshmen are entitled to that. That's normal for a freshman. At some point, you're going to have that game. You're going to have that day. Cost Wilkin a starting spot. Cost him, I'm sure, a ton of confidence. Those that watch that Alabama documentary, The Tide That Binds, Wilkin addressed it and talked about how hurtful it was for him to read what was being said about him by the fans online, and it's damaging especially to kids that age, and he's still learning to be a right tackle in the SEC. But here's the great news: almost without notice, by the end of the year, he's back to splitting snaps with Pritchett, and when Formby was in there, he's pretty good. And here's some off-record or off-grid stuff. When the season ended and it wasn't clear that Formby was going to be Alabama's starting right tackle, he got deluged with DMs in the offseason. This is a fact. And got some major offers to leave Alabama to be a starting tackle at other power programs. You, the Alabama fan, might have gone, I'm not sure this guy's going to be good. Other major programs that watched Formby last season, they're very sure he's going to be good.
Elijah Pritchett got deluged, if that's a word. I'm not 100%. I need to check on that.
He did. It is a word. And one person said recently, I wasn't sure about, one person said Elijah Pritchett got $1 million. Now, I don't know whether that's true. I do know that Formby was offered similar numbers to leave Alabama be the starter. So the point is, it's because it's universally recognized that a kid with a ton of potential is going to be better as a redshirt sophomore than he was as a redshirt freshman. I have a lot of confidence. I know based on the Formby we saw last year, it's easy to question that. But I've just been around the sport too much and seen kids with his ability. He's going to take a step forward. Is it going to be a giant step forward? Is he going to look like a top 10 pick? Probably not. Probably not. But an improved Wilkin Formby this fall as now a redshirt sophomore at right tackle. If he's healthy, I feel really good about Formby having a good season. Greatness, that probably comes later, but goodness is what we would take right now, and it's what I expect. I think he's on a normal developmental track for a good to very good player.
I just had another thought about how we could recruit KJ Ford or somebody like him if we're being outbid and our budget won't allow us to go up. We say
taco burgers from Taco Casa from the Formby family.
You just one up me, but the second one would be, hey, come to Bama, and even if you're not playing great, somebody's going to overpay you because you were here. I'm not mad at Elijah Pritchett for getting $1 million. But I think, isn't it Nebraska? Isn't that where he is?
Nebraska, yeah.
Nebraska overpaid for him. I'm not mad at him. Go get it. I'm happy for you.
They also apparently told him that the left tackle job.
It's an overpay. And I'm going to tell you, if he had been at South Alabama, he doesn't get that. But because he was at Alabama, he does. That should be a selling point.
I also think because at Alabama, because of what we're used to, like we say all the time here, Nick Saban didn't spoil us. He ruined us. We do get overcritical of players. We think, God, Pritchett stinks. Well, Nebraska doesn't think so. You know, I mean, we just have we can get overcritical about our players who clearly aren't great. If they're clearly not great, we can get a little overcritical. Ask Nebraska. Ask the Seattle Seahawks, for instance.
About?
Well, I mean, they drafted Jalen Milroe in the third round. I remember one quote this year that Jalen Milroe's the worst starting quarterback at Alabama or in the SEC in 50 years.
I was immediately
I don't think the Seahawks believe that.
Very mediocre Seahawks players, and I was like,
no, I just meant that other programs and organizations view Alabama players differently than I think some of it is a product of the Nick Saban era.
All right, so two more guys we're going to work in today. Justin Jefferson here comes into account. Not sure what number this is, but I know where he comes in. And hey, you want to talk about apparently one position they don't have a height fetish with? That's linebacker, because Justin Jefferson isn't the tallest linebacker.
No, he's not. And boy, to me, I won't talk too long about Justin Jefferson because we also got Ty, and we probably should have done a whole show on Ty.
But spoiled it.
What says right there on your
thing?
Thing.
I did put something on there.
Formby, Jefferson, and Simpson. It does say.
Maybe it's so, Mark.
You spoiled it first, but Jefferson, the one. It's just kind of hilarious to me that there's one person to thank that Justin Jefferson is going to be a significant player at Alabama this fall, and that's Diego Pavia, a guy who worked very hard to ruin 2024 for Alabama. Diego Pavia ruins 2024 for Alabama with his outstanding play against Alabama in Nashville for Vanderbilt, but yet it's Diego Pavia's lawsuit that is the one and only reason that Justin Jefferson returns for another year of college football. It's a result of the Pavia ruling. I like how the moment that became the law, the moment that became the rule, Justin Jefferson's on the phone with Kane Womack. I want to come back. Kane Womack's on the phone with him. We want you back. I mean, so, it's a two-way street there. By the way, just because that rule happened doesn't mean Alabama has to take Justin Jefferson back. They didn't have to. They wanted him back. Justin Jefferson didn't have to return. He could have just worked out and tried to make it in the NFL. No, but both Alabama wanted him back. Jefferson wanted to be back, and he is going to be a significant player. I sort of see a three-guy rotation at inside linebacker. I think Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson, and Nikhai Hill-Green. We're going to see a ton of those three. Lawson probably leaves the field less than the other two. You could also see Jefferson and Hill-Green sort of platoon. I think Jefferson's a little better against the pass. Hill-Green's a little better against the run. So you could see some situational substitution there. But he's physical. I love him as a hitter. He is athletic, and he's a good player. Let's not overdo it. He's not great. He's a good player. If he's great, he'd have stayed in the NFL. But he's good. He's a good college football player. And, hey, it's year 5 for him. We're going to see the best Justin Jefferson we've seen yet.
Okay, so I like Justin Jefferson a lot, too. I like, for some reason, I have a soft spot in my heart for undersized linebackers. I don't know why. I love QB Reese, and he hadn't even played yet. So I liked him in high school. That's all. I hope he works out. I'm not saying he's going to be a star at Alabama. I just hope he works out.
Yep.
Now, here we come to Ty Simpson, which some people are like, Jimmy, why so low?
Is 18 low? I mean, we're ranking Ty Simpson as the 18th best player on this team.
Let me tell you this. By the way, Doug Amos, who I go on his show on Wednesdays, right? Yeah. He had a fit that Alabama wasn't taking Ty Simpson to SEC Media Days. You and I both said, yeah, we probably think that's the right call to not take him. We're cool with it. I mean,
Nick Saban never in 17 years took a quarterback that was not a returning starter. Nick Saban never did. 17 years of doing this, Saban never took a quarterback. Ty Simpson is not the starting quarterback at Alabama. Not yet. He's just leading. DeBoer and Ryan Grubb have announced to the world he's leading. He's ahead. If we had to play a game right now, he'd be the starter. He has not been named the starting quarterback for the Florida State game. That's why he's not going to media days. And regardless, even if he was, you got 17 years of Nick Saban precedent saying he shouldn't go. Alabama has traditionally bought media days guys who are in their last year, senior leaders or juniors who are clearly playing their last year of college football. And I think as of right now, we've all seen where Caden Proctor's mocked in drafts. This is almost certainly Caden Proctor's last year playing college football. Ty will be there next year, assuming Ty does really well and comes back. Then Ty would be there next year, as will Ryan Williams next year. But all right, so where I put Ty, I have him as the 18th best player. Why? We base this largely or a lot on what we've seen so far. Yes, I think a postseason ranking, I think Ty's going to be higher than 18. As a matter of fact, he might even be top 6 or 7 postseason. But basing it on what we've seen so far in college football on the field or on A-days, I think this is the right spot for him. He is not yet proven to be a great player at this level. The question is, will he this fall? I think so. As y'all know, I've been on this Ty Simpson hype train for a while. It's funny to me now that so many others are on it. I think it would be funny if y'all went back to last December in the talk of Alabama's quarterback for 2025, you were getting a lot of Keelan Russell talk. Now, me and Luke were like, whoa, hit the brakes there on that. But you did hear from elsewhere a lot. I talk all the time about the Locked On SEC media crew asking me on the SEC squad back in January, who's going to be Alabama's quarterback next fall. When I said it would be Ty Simpson, they looked at me like I was a man on the moon and shouldn't have an Alabama show because everybody in the world knew Keelan Russell was going to be the quarterback. No, it's worked out, I think, according to plan. And again, what I was saying back then, y'all don't forget Ty Simpson was a 5-star too. They don't just award 5 stars because they like the cut of your jib, to quote. I think that's a Caddyshack. Is that a Caddyshack
That
thing?
is actually from Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
He said, "Who is this Homer Simpson fellow?" And he said, no, actually, it was the devil. He was talking about the devil who was doing a deal with Homer Simpson. And he goes, "Who is this?"
Was it Burns that said that about Homer?
He said, "Who is this hooved fellow?" or something. He said, "I like the cut of his jib." Because that's Mephistopheles, Mr. Burns. He's your 3 o'clock.
Well, I'm happy that people are now getting on the Ty train. Now it's up to Ty. I'm friends with Ty's agent. I told him a couple months ago, me and Ty's agent having a conversation, and I'm like, hey, this is all he could ask for. He's got his shot. Now it's up to him. What's he going to do with the shot? He earned it. He was patient, and then he earned it. Now what are you going to do with it? Because this is his shot to be the starter at Alabama, and it starts at Florida State. And I'm excited about him. I think he's going to do well. Because of the precedent set by prior Alabama quarterbacks, I don't know that he's ever going to be good enough for some people. Some people won't think he's good, and some people, regardless of what happens, there's going to be a clamor for Keelan Russell almost regardless of what Ty does. I hate that, but I guess that's just part of football that I have to accept at some point.
There are some people who are going to really appreciate and give some credence to this show because you are friends with Ty's agent. There's going to be at least one poster who I know who's going to be like, "Oh, I see why y'all been pumping up Ty Simpson now because Jimmy's friends with his agent." I know that's coming. And you know who you are. Mom.
I know a few agents. And Alabama guys, and no, that has nothing to do with nothing.
I know. I
know what you're saying. People will play. I don't know why I said that. I just remember having the conversation about, hey, now Ty, we're gonna have Ty's agent on the show. Let's do that soon. We talked about it not too long ago. Me and him, we talked about having him on the show. He'd just be a great, and not to have him, hey, here's 20 minutes on Ty. I think a lot of people listening to the show would like to really know how NIL works and the changes because of how the players' agents' roles and responsibilities have changed. I think our audience would really like that. So we'll have him on the show soon.
All right, that's going to do it for today's pod. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.